Often in the spiritual life, worries can crowd into our minds, intruding at odd moments of the day, making our prayer life and our focus on others difficult. It's not always helpful to say don't worry. This is a prayer technique that is useful for turning those worries into prayer and trust. Imagine your worries like a pile of rocks. They're heavy and jagged, a weight for you to carry. Set aside a period of time in the day, probably around about half an hour, longer if you need it. If worries come up in your mind before that time, simply tell yourself, I'm not going to worry about that now. My worry time is later. When the time that you've set aside comes round, get yourself a pile of rocks. They don't have to be large ones like these that I'm using. You can even use small beads if you want to be able to do this on the move. The idea is to have a series of movable objects you can hold in your hand. Take a rock from the pile. Hold it and feel its weight. And as you do, think of one of the things that's on your heart and mind, worrying you, bothering you, causing you pain, weighing you down. Perhaps something it's hard to forgive, something someone has said that's hurt you, something you're worried about in the future. Hold it and allow yourself to fully feel it, to think about it. And then when you're ready, you can offer it to God, let it go, and choose another. By opening your hand and placing the rock on the other side of you, you are symbolizing that you have given that thing to God to hold. You can do this as many times as you need to, with as many worries as you have. Don't be afraid to examine each worry or concern, each grief or hurt. Don't be afraid to feel it fully. Don't be afraid to offer it to God honestly, with honest words, even if they are angry ones. God knows everything we think, so we might as well be honest with God. Repeat this as often as you need to, until you have given each of your worries and concerns to God. Then leave them there.